here, and I'm chatting to you for Vlogmas day 23, the penultimate day. It's actually the same day I'm speaking to you as I spoke yesterday for the 22nd, but because of various other time constraints I decided I needed to do 2 chats in one day, but this will be included in the Vlogmas number 23. So it doesn't make a big difference to you, does it really? And I'm not going to chat on really too much at all, but I did want to share with you the books that I bought when I went to Barter Books last week. And while I was on the birthday camper van trip in Northumberland, we went to this most wonderful second-hand bookshop in Alnwick. And so I just thought I would briefly share them with you. I'm sure that in future podcasts I'm very likely to dip into these to share some of the things in detail. But I bought 3 old books. This first one here, this rather tatty looking one, but I love it, was published in around about 1910, and it's called The Baby's Bouquet, and it's basically a book of songs that you can sing with babies and young children. The illustrations are absolutely gorgeous, and the songs are not all ones that I know, but they're generally nursery rhymes, but there's quite a few that I don't know. There's some in French and in German, and it's just gorgeous. So I think I'll definitely be sharing that with you. I won't necessarily sing to you, but occasionally I have sung to you, haven't I? But yes, anyway, so that's a beautiful little one. And then this great big thick one here it's just called The Girl's Biggest Book, and this is from about 1935. So we're into the 1930s with this one. And whilst it does have some stories in it, it does have the thing that really I love about these books is where you get a glimpse of what life was like. And so this has got all sorts of interesting things in it that I am sure I will share with you. And some poems as well as the stories. I don't know, I suppose I could read you a story sometime if I find one that I think is particularly entertaining. And so a rather nice one from the 1930s, which I didn't have anything from the 1930s, so that would be nice. And then finally I bought this Blackie's Girls Annual, and this is from 1929, and again it's a lovely mixture of interesting articles, really a wide-ranging selection of articles, and some very nice illustrations as well. One of the articles I really like the sound of, which I'm looking forward to reading, is How to Look at Pictures. So there we go. Those were my 3 purchases, and I have actually just ordered a couple of girls' annuals that I found from the 1880s, and so I haven't got anything as early as that, 1888 I think it is, and one from 1904 I think. So I can't wait to get those are coming in the post. I just keep a lookout for these things online, and if I spot something and if I have some cash to spare, and I have got some lovely spare cash at the moment from some of you kind viewers via Ko-fi, so yes, I'll be telling you more about those when they come, when I've seen them. I'll be able to share those books with you as well. So I think that's it. Today's reading from the Girls' Realm Annual 1901. Most of my readings have been from that one, just the odd few others have been from different ones, but it was that one that had the most about Christmas in it. And I think I've left this one to last because it's my favourite one of all the things I've read to you. And it's all about recitation. And as I read the article, I could just picture those, young ladies in 1901 getting ready to go out to the parties and practicing something to recite. And I can just picture them there and practicing saying. And the article is so lovely about using your hands and how to hold yourself. It's just absolutely charming. I'm sure you're going to enjoy that. So I think I'm going to leave it there for today, and we'll see you tomorrow for Christmas Eve and the final Vlogmas. But until I do see you, do take good care of yourself, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Okay, bye. Today I'm reading from the Girls' Realm Annual, 1901. Concerning Little Orphant Annie, a few hints on recitation, by A.H. Miles, editor of the Imperial Reciter and Rigmaroles and Rhymes. All kinds of preparations are being made for the celebration of the great Christian festival. Tens of thousands of earnest, hopeful girls are working hard to qualify themselves to give refined and artistic pleasure to appreciative audiences of loving friends. And there are many who, having, as they think, no chance of distinguishing themselves with the piano or the violin, yet long to be able to contribute something in the coming season to the entertainment of their friends. Recitation offers many of these such an opportunity, not because it is in itself a less arduous study, but because, if a short and simple piece is selected, it is possible within narrower limits of time to study it well and learn to deliver it effectively. There are thousands of girls who, without possessing extraordinary gifts or desiring to give protracted study to the art, yet have a true dramatic instinct, a refined sense of humour, and a dainty grace of presentation which may well find employment in adding variety to Christmas entertainment. To such, as well as to those possessing great histrionic powers, elocution offers opportunities of expression which are not second to those given by any art employing mechanical means in its presentation. The most important feature of the face is, of course, the eye. It is the eye that gives light to the expression. There is probably no variation of human feeling that cannot be expressed through the eyes. It is important, therefore, to remember that among the possibilities of facial expression, the eyes play the most important part. In reciting, they must be made to play their part to the full. A good reciter recites all over, from the tips of the toes to the ends of the longest fingers, and it is the perfect movement in due sequence of the intermediary muscles connecting the one extremity with the other that produces the wave of undulating grace which attains to the poetry of motion. In the play of the body, the hands demand the first attention. The hands are often more unruly than the tongue. Few people know what to do with the hands when they are in repose. Indeed, directly one begins to think of them, one begins to feel that they are awkwardly placed, and more often than not their fears are justified. And yet the hands are very powerful means of expression. Quintilian declares the hands to be almost as powerful as the tongue, and points out that they may be made to beckon or dismiss, to threaten or beseech, to ask or to deny, to excite or to restrain, to express doubt or reproof, admiration or shame, confusion, prudence, devotion, submission, astonishment, horror, agony, avarice, and many other ideas and passions, besides indicating distance, space, measurement, and time. The use of the hands, he adds, is the common language of mankind. The arms should move from the shoulder and not the elbow, and the elbow should be kept free from the body. When moving, they should act in concert, the one hand completing the figure the other has commenced, or answering by contrary motion, as the case may require. The left arm is as necessary in recitation as the right, and both should be equally facile and under control. It is perhaps necessary here to interpose a warning against overdoing rather than underdoing in the matter of action. The ambitious student is much more likely to do too much than too little. Graceful action is important, but it is not too much to say that graceful inaction is more important, as it is certainly more difficult. To do nothing in public and do it well is the accomplishment of the best actors, and it is for this reason often more difficult to play a subordinate than a leading part. By way of exemplifying of these remarks, we refer the reader to the weird little poem by James Whitcomb Riley entitled Little Orphant Annie, together with some clever illustrations of the poem by Miss Alice Mellish, pupil of Mrs. Hasluck of the Polytechnic Institute. We append the poem with a number of points marked in italics, in the hope that some of our readers may be encouraged to attempt its reproduction for the benefit of their friends. Little Orphant Annie by James Whitcomb Riley. Little orphant Annies come to our house to stay, and wash the cups and saucers up, and brush the crumbs away, and shoo the chickens off the porch, and dust the hearth and sweep, and make the fire and bake the bread, and earn her board and keep. And all us other children, when the supper things is done, we set around the kitchen fire, and has the mostest fun, a-listening to the witch tales that Annie tells about, and the goblins that Gus, if you don't watch out. Once there was a little boy wouldn't say his prayers, and when he went to bed at night away upstairs, his mammy heard him holler and his daddy heard him bawl, and when they turned the kivers down he wasn't there at all. And they seeked him in the rafter room and cubby hole and press, and seeked him up the chimbley flue, and everywheres, I guess. But all they ever found was thist his pants and round about, and the goblins'll get you if you don't watch out. And one time a little girl had Alice laugh and grin, and make fun of everyone and all her blood and kin. And onc't, when they was company and old folks was there, she mocked 'em and shocked 'em, and said she didn't care. And thist as she kicked her heels and turned to run and hide, there was two great big black things a-standing by her side. And they snatched her through the ceiling, for she knowed what she's about, and the goblins'll get you if you don't watch out. And little orphant Annie says, when the blaze is blue, and the lamp wick sputters, and the wind goes woo, and you hear the crickets quit, and the moon is grey, and the lightning bugs and dew is all squenched away, you better mind your parents and your teachers fond and dear, and cherish them that loves you, and dry the orphan's tear, and help the poor and needy ones that clusters all about, or the goblins'll get you if you don't watch out.